All right, folks, here it is, the Cyclone Rake Z10 model. This is the largest model they make. It's got the 10 horsepower motor on it. It's the Briggs & Stratton Vanguard engine. It's quite a piece of machinery here. Commercial power, check that out. Took my cousin and I, Steve, a few hours, I don't know, a couple maybe, put this thing together. There was quite a few pieces. It was came in 8 different boxes, and that's with what that's with, I don't know, a couple extras. I got a couple extra pieces. So anyway, here it is, hooked up to the old John Deere, and that's the L100 5-speed. And here we are. Here's the main side where the business happens. Check that out. That's a big 10-inch tube right there. It's the biggest one they make for this thing. I wanted to make sure that I had what it takes to pick up the leaves, all of them. So anyway, I will show this thing in action and see what happens. All right, folks. All right, we're going to do a start of the 10 horsepower Briggs & Stratton Vanguard engine, Cyclone motor engine. Here you've got giving it gas and taking the gas away. This is, I don't want the engine to have any gas, and this is all the way gas. Here's the throttle right here. Well, that's the choke, I'm sorry. The throttle is here. I love the throttle being right here because when I'm riding on it, all I have to do is reach back and kind of feel for this yellow handle, and then the throttle is right there. Okay, so I'm going to leave the throttle down low. I'm going to open the choke up. It's ready to be started, so I'm just going to push these two right on over, and she'll crank right up. hope you guys are getting a good view of this, but I want to get a close-up of what exactly I'm cutting. Make sure you guys are getting a good look what it looks like. If you can't tell, the grass is longer than it should be. I've been having some lawnmower issues, and so I'm way behind the 8 ball on getting the leaves picked up and the grass cut. But there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches of grass there that should have been cut already. And here comes a car. And there's leaves in it. And keep in mind, these leaves are from last fall, I'm sorry. We bought the place here in the winter of, well, December of, here comes another car, sorry. In December of 2013. The seller didn't clean up the leaves before they moved, so we moved, for our day we moved in, it was snow on the ground. So we weren't able to clean the leaves up from last year. And then I was delayed jumping on top of the leaves this year. Had some, I had to order the Cyclone Rake, and I was a little late ordering that. And then by the time I got my father's hand-me-down second tractor that he has, riding mower, and I've been having a lot of issues with that. And so I'm just way behind. This is, what is this? This is May, like the May 10th or May 11th. I think it's the 10th of 2014. So I'm way behind the 8 ball on picking up these leaves. So I just wanted to make sure you guys had a good background on, you know, what's going on with these leaves. They're not fresh fallen. And here comes another car. Keep in mind also that the winter of 2013-14 in the state of Michigan was one of the worst that I've ever, is probably the worst that I've ever experienced, and I'm sure one of the worst in the history of Michigan. It was just horrific. So these are leaves that have been matted down under tons of snow. There's another car. So I wanted to make sure you guys had a good view of what I'm dealing with. And this is kind of light compared to what it was a little closer to the road. It was, the leaves were relatively, there were a lot more leaves. I didn't record everything because quite frankly, when I got that riding mower going, I was frustrated and I just wanted to get out there and start. But she seems to be doing really good right now. And here comes another car. So here's a view of what I have to cut yet, and then here's what I've been cutting. You guys have just seen me cut this part here, and it picks up 90-something% of all the leaves that were matted down under all that snow. Sorry for all the cars. All those leaves that were matted down under all that snow, it's picking up 90-something%. It looks like close to 98-99% of all the leaves that were under all that snow, and now that was mixed in with all that grass that needed to be cut. And here's the ditch here that we're going to do. I'm going to get to that, and I hope that this side of the ditch is as wet as it was on the other side. I'll show you the relatively clean side over here on the other side, but there are a lot of leaves there in the ditch, as you can see. I mean, just piles of it. That's just a good example. I mean, that is a ditch, folks. It looked pretty level, but that is a ditch. That's just a ditch full of leaves. So I'm going to use the attachment. I forget the name of it. It's not the estate attachment, but it's the other tube that connects to the Cyclone Rake, so I can clean that up. Now look at this. This is this side of the ditch. Let's walk over the other side that I've already done. And keep in mind, there's been a few leaves that blew back into the ditch, but not many. Now this side of the ditch, yeah, see that pile of leaves? That was spick and span clean a couple days ago when I cleaned it. Those blew back into the ditch, but I can just as clear as day see the drain pipe there, and on the other side you can just barely see the tip of it. But look at the ditch on this side that I cleaned with the Cyclone Rake, and the leaves under the dry leaves were soaking wet. I'm super impressed with the Cyclone Rake picking up these leaves. They pick them up, I mean, like a beast. That Cyclone Rake is an animal. So yeah, these are quite a few. These leaves you see here, these weren't in here after I got through cleaning it. Here comes another car. So yeah, these leaves have blown back into the ditch. I had 95–98% of all the leaves out of this ditch. This area here was very clean. These are fresh leaves blown into the ditch. Okay, so I've already unbuttoned all the snaps. Just gonna rip the Velcro off.
On the phone?
What?
On the phone?
No, I'm making a YouTube video, dear.
Oh.
Say hi to my wife. She thinks I'm going crazy talking to myself.
Talk to yourself.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I don't know if you can see in there, it's not full. That's not the fault of the Cyclone Rake, that my mower is not strong enough to keep pulling. and it'll keep pulling, but what's happening is the front end is coming up and I need weights on the front end to keep the the front end down so I can steer, because what's happening is it's got so much weight in the back that the tires that's on the front of the tractor that's steering the thing, I can't steer because the tires aren't touching. So you just have to learn when to unload the Cyclone Rake, and I'm learning to when to unload the Cyclone Rake based upon how well my riding lawnmower does. So that being said, it's not a fault of the Cyclone Rake. It is certainly doing its job. So anyway, there's just one piece to connect in the front here. I should have showed you. I'll show it to you another time. And then you just pull this thing back. Whew, that's very heavy. So I've heard complaints of it's not so easy to dump, but and that's partially true. I've been using a rake, one of the hard iron rakes, to rake the debris out of the Cyclone Rake bag here. But I'm just going to dump it like this. I'm going to pull off like they do in the advertisement, and let's just see what happens. Let's take a look. Not half bad. Let me give you a closer look. Okay, here's our closer look. And it got everything from the inside. It's empty up there. Nothing but just Cyclone Rake stuff there. All the debris is here at the bottom. And there's not much of it. I could have kept driving and maybe it would have kept coming out. But not a bad job. I will, this is that bottom flap right here. I'll just pull up so you guys can see the rest. And there you have it. You just have a little bit of debris here from pulling off. When I pulled off, that just kind of fell there. I wish it was all right there on that pile, but this is not a perfect world. Cyclone Rake still does a fabulous job. Okay, so I'm going to clean the ditch out, and I hope that this side of the ditch is as wet as the other side was, so you guys can see it pick up all this stuff. Okay, here we go. got a load of stuff here. Obviously a bunch of leaves, and I guess if you look closer, it's a lot of dirt. And look at how wet. It doesn't even give it justice, really. Can you see how wet those leaves are? But what I really want to show you is what this thing will pick up other than leaves. Do you see all the rocks by the dozens? Now keep in mind, this is the Z10 model, the largest Cyclone Rake. I had no idea that it would pick up these rocks. I mean, probably hundreds of rocks. This was leaves out by the road from the ditch, and the median of the road is gravel, and of course a lot of that gravel gets kicked into the ditch, and I just picked it up with my Cyclone Rake. This thing is a beast. It is incredible. Rocks by the dozens. Hundreds of rocks. I mean, they're not boulders, but look at that thing. I mean, they're just like rocks from a gravel road. I mean, it's incredible. This thing is a beast here, this impeller. I don't know if you can see those little nicks right there. Those little bitty nicks. That's from all the hard things that have hit it, the rocks and whatever else. Alright folks, I wanted to show you this. This is the piece that comes from the engine, and then it goes to the bag. It is full of mud. Look at all this is full of mud too. I don't know if you can see that. It is caked up pretty good though. Look at that. Man, what a mess. I really feel like I'm pushing the Cyclone Rake to its limits here. This is I feel like this is more than what the Cyclone Rake bargained for, you know. I could be wrong, but it's doing it. But man, it's just taking a beating doing it though. Man. So anyway, this piece here, it's got a ton more mud in it. I'm gonna go dump it in the ditch here. Apparently it's on both sides. I don't know if you can see in there. And this piece here, you're supposed to be able to see through it. Now you can. When I first took it off, you couldn't. I guess it fell inside here. Okay, I'm gonna dump it. Okay, I had to show you my findings. I took the hose off there of the motor, and after I cleaned that out best I could, and this is what I found in here. The Cyclone Rake is amazing. This is just caked up mud from all those wet leaves. Good Lord. So if you were wondering if the leaves were really wet, yeah, they are. And they're very muddy too, apparently. And here we have it caked up here as well. Look at that. I'm going to drag it to the ditch so I can dump it right on the ground here. Look at that. Look at that. Can you see that? Am I doing a good camera drop? Oh boy. That's pretty nasty. But the Cyclone Rake is amazing. Wow. Oh, Hello. Isn't this ironic? Here I am with the Cyclone Rake, and I've got an old-fashioned rake attached to it. Sometimes that is necessary, folks, an old-fashioned rake. Let me show you why. Okay, here we are alongside the ditch here. Now this is all my yard here. Not all of it. Anyway, this is the edge of the ditch. Here's the ditch I've been cleaning out. And there's more to be cleaned. But this is why you need an old-fashioned rake. Here comes a car. Is because the Cyclone Rake, when it's too close to the ditch here, and you go to make a, when you go to pull off and you make a left turn in this position, those back wheels are going to go in the ditch. And if the load is too heavy and your tractor can't pull hard enough, you're going to have some problems. So, and according to Woodland products too, they say not to ride the Cyclone Rake at an angle like this, like a sideways angle. They say go directly up and down a hill and not sideways on the hill. So I definitely don't want to tip this thing over. But I used the old-fashioned rake to rake this part of the grass here that has not been cut. I just raked those leaves right into the ditch there. So there will come a time where you need just a regular old-fashioned rake. Okay, the Cyclone Rake people, they sell a rack for the hose that goes on the top. I don't have that, so I'm improvising with a couple of bungee cords, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. Alright, please note that I left some slack here in the hose. I don't want it like really tight. I left it hanging a little bit there so that when I dump the Cyclone Rake, it doesn't pull on this too much. Okay. Okay, here's the next step. Put this part up here like this. Bungee cord through both handles. Go around the other side. Pull it tight. Then I hook it to the bar in the back. This is the bungee cord that I just did, and I hooked it up back here. So this is the first one I did, the red one. This is the second one I did, which is the green one. And lastly, I wrapped the shoulder strap around this bar here. I usually do that 3 times through there, but that's good enough for now. So here's a quick thing I wanted to point out. This is the boot, or whatever they call it, that attaches to the side of the tractor there, to the deck. Now it's supposed to be customized, or supposed to fit properly on this 42-inch deck. Where is it at? There it is. I don't know if you can see that. It is a 42-inch deck. That's what I advised Woodland Power Products when I called. But this piece here, it didn't fit exactly like it probably should have. You see this gap right here? That's about as tight as I could get it. It was more than that. I had to make some adjustments on the deck. I actually had to hit it with a hammer and bang it in a little bit just to get the screws in over here. So that was the biggest glitch that I had putting this thing together. So I think one of the things is probably takes away from a little bit of the power and sucking up the leaves. Not much, but just a little bit probably. But something else that it does is it kicks up a lot of debris from this crack upward and towards my face. So that's one good reason to wear your eye protection for sure. And if you want to wear ear protection as well, I do, because the Cyclone Rake is pretty loud, and then you got the tractor running too. So to save your long-term hearing, you might want to wear some ear protection, but for sure eye protection. And I'll be honest, at first I did not wear eye protection, and then I thought about it and I said, well, it's not worth me losing an eye. So then I started wearing those goofy protection glasses that they sent with the package. So take that for what it's worth. Okay folks, so if you guys are anything like me, when I watch YouTube video reviews of products, I have a lot of questions, and a lot of times I don't get my questions answered, not because what I'm saying is they just don't go over whatever my question was in the review. So I try to cover as much as I can. So with this John Deere tractor here, I wanted to show you guys what blade setting, where the cutting deck setting is, and the lowest is 1 and the highest is 4. I've been doing a 2.5, as you can see, and it's too low to cut all the time because the grass is just too low. But I had it that low because of all the matted down leaves. I wanted to make sure the blades on the deck were sucking up the leaves all the way down on the ground. So maybe it'll do just as good a job with the deck raised, I don't know, but that's where I have it, just so you'll know. Also over here, the speed, I've got 5 forward speeds and 1 reverse, and I've been doing the Cyclone Rake in the first speed, which is the slowest speed. One is I want to make sure that I am covering any amount of space on the ground as slow as possible to help pick up as many leaves as possible that are matted down on the ground. Keep in mind, these leaves have been here all winter, and we had the most horrific winter that I can remember over 2013 through 2014. So so I've been doing it at 1. Also, the 1, it seems to be it has more pull power or more torque in 1, so when the Cyclone Rake gets heavy, when it gets loaded down, my mower can the best it can pull is in 1. I've tried to pull it when the Cyclone Rake was full in like 3 or more. It just doesn't work well. It's just too heavy for this mower. So 1 seems to work the best. Now when it is full and when it's empty and I'm driving around going to wherever I'm going to cut, I can ride in 2, 3, something like that. It'll do fine. But just so you know, I've been cutting in that 1 speed to pick up, as much as possible. So another thing I wanted to mention was keeping in mind that what you're looking at now is, I think, one of the worst conditions possible for picking up leaves, and it's working fabulous. The Cyclone Rake is just super incredible. So what I plan on doing is in the fall, the last cut of the season, I want to cut it really low like this, so then when the leaves fall, I don't have to worry about cutting the grass as well. I don't have to worry about the leaves being matted down. What I'll do is I'll raise the deck up probably a little bit, maybe all the way, and then I'll go over the leaves, and let me tell you, that should be a piece of cake compared to what I've been doing now. And that's how you want to do it, you know, get the leaves right away before winter hits. I didn't have a choice though last winter. But so anyway, so after this review, look for another review on the Adam 12 YouTube channel for the Cyclone Rake in action in the fall of 2014. Hopefully with optimal conditions, the grass will be very low, the leaves should be nice and dry, and the Cyclone Rake should just have absolutely no problem at all. Here's something else to consider. The I forget the other attachment, but the hose they used to blow the leaves into the woods or something like that, consider getting that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and order it, because look at the mess that I've created. This is probably, I don't know, I'm guessing 20 to 30 loads from the Cyclone Rake. And it is quite a mess to clean up. It's a lot to burn. Those were my intentions, is to burn it, and I probably will, but I'm gonna have to burn it, and some of it, maybe get that extra attachment and blow it into the woods. So you might want to consider getting it. You might want it. So even though my yard is clean, I still have all this stuff to clean up. Still a lot of work to do. So this has been Adam 12 from the Adam 12 YouTube channel with a review of the Cyclone Rake from Woodland Power Products. I am super impressed with it. I can't say enough great things about this thing. Is it perfect? No, but what product is? The extra attachment that I use to clean the ditch out with, I love it. It's not the estate attachment, it's the shorter one, like 15 feet long, but it is just incredible. And the load that you saw me dump from the Cyclone Rake with all the rocks in it, that came from the ditch. That was picked up by that hose. That hose is just super, super powerful. It's the motor that's powerful, but the hose is just, using that hose, I mean, as you can see, it picked up soaking wet leaves, all the dried leaves. Just an incredible piece of equipment that I'm just super happy to have. I think I've got about 2 acres to cut and to maintain when the leaves fall. So I'm just super impressed. Remember, this model is the Z10 model, the largest model that the Woodland Power Products makes. So I'm sure the smaller ones do just as well. Not as powerful as this one, obviously. This is the 10 horsepower motor, and the other ones are a little bit smaller. But you know, depending on the size of your yard and the amount of leaves that you have to pick up, you know, that'll dictate what size motor you need. I think I've given this Cyclone Rake a pretty rough go at it. I've had to do some pretty nasty things in the ditch. I think was the worst of it. It was just pretty gross. At first I thought I was going to have to suck up all the dry leaves on top and then let it sit, and then let the wet leaves get some sunlight and let those dry up. But no, it sucked it all up. All the soaking wet leaves, all the mud. You've seen everything I put this Cyclone Rake through, and it's a lot. So this fall 2014, I'm going to do another review of the Cyclone Rake in optimal conditions. That is, with the grass being as low as possible, the last grass cutting of the season, and then when the leaves fall, I'm not going to let them build up something horrendous. Of course, I'm not going to leave them over the winter time like they were now, but I'm going to demonstrate these optimal conditions of the Cyclone Rake. And I can tell you, from using it now, when the grass is really low and the leaves have just fallen off the trees and they're still dry, that is going to be small work for the Cyclone Rake, I can tell you now. But look for the video in 2014 in the fall. And if you're watching this video anywhere other than YouTube, you can catch my YouTube channel at Adam 12 Reviews. You have to search Adam 12, ADAM 12, the number 12 space reviews, and then I have a bunch of other reviews about a bunch of other crazy stuff. But so anyway, that was that. I've had a lot of fun doing the review. I appreciate you guys watching. I know this has been pretty long and extensive, but that's pretty much how I like to do my reviews. They're long and extensive. I want to make sure that people get a good view at what I'm doing. And I hate short reviews. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and take care. All right, bye.